A couple good days building here for Shiba Inu. We were green yesterday. We're green today to start the day. And again, hopefully this is something that continues through the weekend. But I do want to talk about actually 1 trillion Shib that was on the move over the last 4 days. I do also want to address a community comment because we're seeing a lot of people just not grasping what's taking place right now. And I think clarity is the most important thing you can have here. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So right now, Shiba Inu is at about 40114. We're up about 0.9% on the day after closing our day yesterday, up 1%. And we're trying to basically, again, just continue building this right shoulder on our inverse head and shoulders. Could be a very good sign for what's to come here for Shib. But again, we need to remember that our local point of resistance is at this 20-day moving average. So that's at about 40118. I'd love to see us break 40112. That's where things, again, kind of open up just a little bit. Like I talked about yesterday, we have that thick concentration, that thick sell wall at about that range. So if we start making those moves, we can start to get a little bit jumpy as an asset. I will say that BTC just continues to hang around this breakout on its trend. It hasn't done it quite yet, but we're building to that. And I will say right now, Ethereum is trying to once again get back on track, get back above that 200-day moving average. When we start doing that, I think things are going to start opening up for ERC20s just a little bit more confidence. Obviously, LPs can drag up ERC20s like Shiba Inu as well. So those would be very good signs. Now, what I did want to point out is that, we look at things that are good and bad here as well, right? It's not just always sunshine and rainbows. And something I wanted to point out was that over the past 4 days, we actually have had some whale selling to the tune of 1 trillion Shiba Inu. Now, before people freak out, what I do want to point out is this is short-term whales. When we look at the average hold time of these transactions that have happened over the past few days, it's really short-term. So what we've seen is basically some people buying and taking profit, buying and taking profit. It's not, a crazy thing. I will say over those 4 days, Shib is down about 1.2%. So nothing crazy per se, but, it's not looking like that is a, longer term problem that Shib has. When we look at the Shib fundamentals, we're still at this point where, it's 79% of holders have held for 1 year or longer. There's been no shakeup in the holder time or anything like that. So just wanted to point that out to everyone. Now, I do want to address a comment from a community member, from Frank. And what he said was, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. You can't call Shiba Inu making progress when it's about to be 2026 with BTC over 100K, mass adoption, pro-crypto president, pro-crypto in the SEC, and crypto ETFs with 230 billion coins burned. Yet Shiba Inu is about to be back to 501. Appreciate the comment. 100% disagree with you. First of all, during this bear market cycle, Shiba Inu has made a ton of progress. It's added about 25% in terms of its holders. We've climbed from basically 1.2 million holders to begin the bear market cycle to now 1.516 trillion holders, I think is where we're at. I think I took it off here. So we continue to make new all-time highs, excuse me, in terms of holders. We've also seen a reduction of close to 100 trillion Shiba Inu from the height of the last bull market cycle on exchanges. So people are buying and hoarding for the long term. And you have to understand that, no, we're not in mass adoption right now. We are in institutional adoption. We're starting to see some early signs of government and enterprise adoption. But the problem that you have is that Shiba Inu is a retail-driven asset. And you have to ask yourself this question: where the hell is retail? They're not here. All right. Yes, we have the people in the space right now that have been in the space, but we're not seeing new adoption. And this is what I've continued to say time and time again. A lot of these runs that we've gone on, they've been stifled because we're not getting retail adoption right now. And that's not surprising, right? There's been economic concerns. People are concerned about tariffs, war abroad. These are the exact reasons why I've said that this part of the cycle has been heavily manipulated so far. It's because while that is going on and retail is pessimistic and scared on the sidelines, look what the big players are doing. The institutional players are buying and buying and buying. Governments around the world are accumulating. Enterprises, guys, Q1 was the largest quarter of enterprise accumulation we have ever seen in history. You need to think about these things. We're kind of at pause in terms of global adoption, in terms of mass adoption. Okay, we've been stuck in this, 5 to 6% of the world in crypto since all the way back in 2021. It hasn't changed. Okay, we need to start accelerating. And what we've seen historically is that crypto has been one of the fastest adopting techs in pieces of tech in history. But there's been a pause now because of institutional players, because of this control in the crypto market. This basically fear mongering has caused this PTSD. And that's why even the capital in the market is hesitant to re-enter assets. That's why every time we get close to one of these breakouts, we see a retracement. It's nothing more, it's nothing less. There is manipulation, there is retail PTSD, and that's where we're stuck. It's like I talked about yesterday. We're stuck in terms of SHIB. We're stuck in terms of most alts in the space right now. All right. Now, that being said, I've seen some of your other comments, and he said that, oh, yeah, people aren't selling because they're stuck. Not really. I mean, when we look at most assets in the space, right now, SHIB, for example, about 34% of holders are either in or at the money. Most assets are, 50% and below. It's not that people are stuck. They're patient. All right. SHIB has always been about patience. We've gotten past the times where it's 1,000% in a night rip. Okay. We'll see days of 20%, 30%, 50% again, but those days have to again be taking place when adoption takes place, or when there is, where we get into ranges where there are very thin liquidity. Like we've talked about, these ranges here for SHIB, very thick concentration. This is where we have the largest concentration of Shiba Inu in the entire LPs, all right, in the entire order books. And we have to get through these ranges to start seeing some more extended moves, right? Just taking a look back here, we even back in May, while retail was still somewhat fearful, we had days of 12%, we had days of 13%, okay? But when things get running, you can see those days of 22%, of 27%, all right? But it's all about patience. People want instant gratification. They want things to move so fast, but they just continue to ignore, excuse me, fighting a bit of a cold, guys, I apologize. They continue to ignore what's actually happening in and outside the space, okay? Understand that right now, BTC is the big focus from those people I mentioned, from enterprises, from governments, from institutions. Retail is very much focused on altcoins. Until retail is here, we're not going to see an all-time high or a big extended breakout or anything like that. And that's not to, scare anyone or anything like that. It's just the nature of the beast right now. We will get to those times. We just have to be patient. We have to let things play out, and you have to understand the context of the entire market right now. So that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you as always. Hope you enjoyed the video. I think we do have better times still coming here in 2025, but a lot of that noise that's suppress the market, it just has to quiet down just enough for that capital that's in the market right now to re-enter the space. The fact that SHIB has continued to do what it's done, gaining in terms of holders, removing supply from exchanges, despite us just having this limited pool of people that are in the crypto market currently, is in fact a great sign. You can't spin it any other way. So appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.